Yeah. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on.
What is up, guys? We are live.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Risey.
Just turned Vicky down a little bit, and I think that should be good.
I think it is.
I think so. But people in the chat, let me know how that audio is. It's usually an issue.
Can't help that.
I mean, we probably
you
could. Probably could. We got two of my favorite people in the chat. Got Risey. Oi, oi, ninjas.
And Big Daddy. Hey,
Big
Large
Daddy.
Father.
Yeah.
How you
Hashtag
doing?
manlet.
Tippy toes.
Tippy toes. And we got another person that's one of my favorite people, Puma Fist.
Hey,
Is-
Puma Fist.
At
And hello,
Risey
Blade Runner.
Undead. Vicky, shut the fuck up.
No, I'm going to talk over you all
Shut
night.
the fuck up for like 1 second. Jesus Christ. Puma Fist says, at Risey Undead, what up? So yeah, that's the chat for you. Oh,
Surprisingly enough, Risey it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
yeah. Twitter is cancer says, Cecil MIA because of his thieving.
He has been streaming on his own channel. Ethan has been on with Cecil, but is not having Cecil on his channel. He's doing that thing where he, will hide on other people's channels, but won't have them on his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Cecil.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I don't feel actually bad for him.
But then again, if you backed a book called Cash Grab, what do you expect?
You kind of deserve it.
You kind of deserve it, don't you?
No, it's
Yeah.
fucked up. It's fucked up.
It is fucked up. It is. The excuse is just lame, too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, my wife took the money.
Or tried to take the money, so I had to I had to like lock it down. Like whatever.
Yeah, like that's like a real fucking thing, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like he couldn't have sent out PDFs of that book to his backers as a goodwill gesture.
yeah, that's like the most fucked up part. Like, there's actually really no good reason why he can't do that.
Yeah. It's been ready since God, it's been a year and a half now. That book's been done. He could have sent out PDFs at any time with a short explanation without having to go into anything, you know?
Yeah, like, it's just disrespectful at some point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
But-
it's Comicsgate.
but that's, I don't think that's, what we're gonna talk about tonight.
It wasn't, but that's okay.
Yeah, because no news is no news there. But we have a show for you tonight. I'm not gonna say a wonderful show, but it's a show.
It's a show.
It's a show. We
Yeah.
have Jon Malin, and then we have oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. We have Rowdy versus Bowsey because a lawsuit has been filed.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and then
Bot Sentinels being taken to court.
yeah, and then we have the Pelosi stuff.
Which is just weird.
It is weird.
That whole Pelosi thing is just weird.
It's very odd. It is very
Yeah.
odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see Puma Fist asked Risey when Finn's gonna stream again.
Who knows? He's doing that take time off thing. It all just is it's just too difficult to stream.
Well, I mean, I know because Puma Fist and I were in Nerdette's chat earlier today, and I guess Puma Fist had told me that Finn had 2 strikes.
Ah. Well, his last video got taken down for sexual content.
That's funny.
Yeah, so he
I
probably
mean, it's
does.
fucked up, but
It's fucked up but funny. It's like, thanks, Checkpoint, I guess. I don't know if it's Checkpoint's fault, but it's something that they played was, considered inappropriate, and just avoid showing that kind of stuff again.
you would think
I-
the
would-
lesson would have been learned. But like, I mean, I love Finatra, he's my bro. But learn the lesson, bro.
Well, when you're drunk streaming, it's kind of hard to stop yourself and to be in complete control of your content, I suppose. You
That's-
just play shit to play it, and you let other people do stuff, and then the next thing you know, you got a community strike.
That's fair. Yeah, that does happen.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Risey? Nah, I'm just joking, bro. I'm just joking. But yeah, so we got a show. It's a show.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We should probably get the show going.
I think I'll decide that, Vicky. Thanks.
Well, only because you're running the OBS.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think now we're gonna do it. Okay.
You're my Andy Worski.
Okay, PPP. If that's what all right. If you want to be fat old PPP.
No, I think I'll pass.
All right, yeah, damn right you'll pass. Fuck you.
27,000. It's Shane. Where is Jon Malin right now?
I don't know. Don't ask.
You would think John would want to be here for this. I'm confused as to why he's not here. Everyone, Inglorious Rex 2 is Shane. I got to know Shane. Shane kind of popped into DC Comics when I was starting to become a popular artist, and everybody was talking about him. Everybody was talking about how he was the next big thing. They put him on a Superman book with J. Michael Straczynski, and his legend has just grown since then. I mean, I see Shane as a peer in a way that is unique, in a way that Jon Malin could never be.
Oh my God.
That's
Hold on a second here. Let me also call up the great Jon Malin's campaign. I don't know where Jon is. Does anybody know why Jon wouldn't come in here to support Shane and Yancey's launch? Anybody have any ideas about that?
I'm gonna assume he's sleeping.
Sleeping.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's sleeping.
All right, that's fine. All right, Jon Malin's graveyard shift, Omega Storm. Jon is not here, but we still like Jon.
Mm-hmm.
We're promoting his campaign, even though he's not here helping us. I don't know why he's not helping.
Oh, you know.
I'm sending Jon Malin the link directly. I don't know what
Yeah.
he's doing. Is he in the chat? What is Jon Malin doing? Is he asleep?
He
No.
could be asleep.
I would say
Maybe
asleep
hibernate.
if I was guessing, but
Do wolves hibernate? I don't know.
Yeah. All right, let me see here. All right, I invited Jon, so if Jon wants to come in, he certainly can, and that would be great of him. We are moving real fast here. Shane Davis is wonderful and amazing, Inglorious Rex. Volume 2 smashes $70,000 in the
Oh, that
first
was quick.
all right.
3.5
That's a big jump.
hours.
Holy fuck. Thank you guys for the support. Jesus. 70K is insane. Graveyard shift. Can we get some backers? We're still close to 82.
Maybe some of your backers can hop over and help out Jon Malin. I don't know. All right. Shane Davis's Inglorious Rex. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. $71,000.
Thank you.
Wow.
Shane, you are just $10,000 away from passing Graveyard Shift, the Mega Storm. That's pretty good.
that's when Jon Malin shows up.
Yeah.
You can sense the comments.
I'm very excited for you about that. I truly am. I think that your success is everyone's success except for Jon's. Yo.
Yo.
All right. I like
Thanks,
that song.
guys.
Shane's always got the best songs. He's almost at 72,000 now.
Yeah.
Moving forward, boy, I'll tell you, Shane.
What will you tell me?
I'm just saying, if Jon were here promoting his comic, maybe he wouldn't be like, this close to $10,000 away. That's still a healthy distance, right? I mean, it's a healthy distance. Shane Davis's
It's a
Inglorious Rex comic book volume 2. Shane, congratulations, man. Everybody loved Inglorious Rex 1. Graveyard Shift by Jon. I can't believe Jon's still not here. It's been 6 hours.
Kind of peculiar.
Yeah, it'll be in soon, I hope. I'm going to pull a pot roast out of the oven. I'll be back just 1 minute.
Okay, Narwhal. Thank you for being here, Narwhal. You kind of just watch and you kind of take notes about who's working for other people, you know what I mean, and who isn't. You kind of take notes about that. All right, hold on a second here. So, Graveyard Shift a Mega Storm. Let's watch this video. Let's do a little work for Jon Malin. Graveyard Shift a Mega Storm picked up some more backers. It's at $82,426. Let's check out Inglorious Rex. Let's just look at Inglorious Rex just for fun and see where it's at. Holy shit! Unbelievable! Oh my god! Yes, Shane Davis. You have defeated Jon Malin
Wasn't
in just 6.5 hours.
I've never looked so good.
I mean, you didn't mean to do this, right?
No, I didn't.
No, of course not. You take no pleasure in this.
No.
83. Well, not yet.
Mm.
But this is a big deal. I would think that John would want to come in here, and now that you're head to head, maybe. But he won't. I don't know why.
I think John's disavowed.
I just have to like pause for a second, guys. Because I'm pretty sure Narwhal is fucking on ecstasy right now in this video. Like, the guy is just loving the song. Like, he's really fucking vibing. And good
That's what he was doing. He went to get that pot roast.
Yeah, pot roast is actually code for snorting a rail of Somali mixed in with some Coke. And I would know because that was always the best. So.
Disavowed you. Terrible. Oh, Shane kicked himself out. You okay?
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I got excited. I thought someone else was here. I was like, oh, good. Jon Malin's here.
Yeah.
But he's not. If Jon Malin were here, it would sound something like this.
I was raised by the wolves.
But he's not here. So, doesn't that sound good when I play that? And you're just like, oh, John's here.
Here comes John. It's like
Big dopamine dump.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I'm
people
sure
get
it
really
is,
excited
Narwhal.
about Jon
I'm
being here.
sure it is.
But no, he's decided to sit this one out. I guess I could understand why, in a way. Kind of. Oh yes, he has a boob window. I just noticed.
Not really.
Oh, that's so great. Yes. It's very power girl. Appreciate it. Bob Newfart says, please, John, come and save us. John isn't here. I don't know where he is. Is John around like on somebody else's channel right now, just goofing off?
He's probably.
He might be sleeping.
It feels late to us, but it isn't really that late. Graham Nolan.
Michael Bancroft says John quit Shane. I don't know why.
Yeah, why? Also, let me see. We got another super chat up here that I wanted to get to if possible. Yeah, I don't think Jon Malin's coming. All right, let me see here. I'm about ready to close it down. I know Shane and Yancy are hungry, and I'm about to fall over. This is an 8-hour live stream. I appreciate everybody being a part of this. This is great. Shane Davis, I wanted to see you get to 6 figures, but once again, somebody else is going to pick up this football and then claim all the.
So yeah. Where is John?
Where was John? But actually before we go a little bit further on where John was, what I find really kind of almost fascinating, oh Jesus, is how incredibly deaf to the subtext of Ethan talking about Jon Malin continuously. Now, I went through that stream and it was an 8-hour stream, and I got 7.5 minutes of him talking about Jon Malin over the course of 8 hours, right? But PTP and Narwhal were so incredibly tone deaf. You know, like, oh, I'm sure he's just asleep. Yeah, he's just asleep. Never mind that, you know, Mr. Grab an Oar, we all help each other, right? We grab an oar, it lifts all the boats. Was nowhere to be seen during Shane Davis's launch stream. But why? Because Jon Malin is having the worst Indiegogo campaign he's had ever.
Yeah. Oh
Right?
yeah,
Yeah. He you know, he went from making over 200K, I think, on Godlike, somewhere around there, to he hasn't been, it took him, oh God, 2 weeks to crack 85K after he extended his campaign. So Shane Davis did the same amount of money in 6.5 hours as Jon Malin had done in 35 days, something crazy like that. And he knew it was going to happen. Shane Davis's last launch was he did 85K in a couple of hours, right?
Yeah.
And Shane Davis, this is what, his second campaign this year, I think, right? I mean, he's whipping them out 2 a year. This is also Malin's second or third. I missed dinner, so my brain's a little slow. But it's doing the worst. One, it's characters nobody knows about, even though they're from his Graveyard Shift universe. Two, it's drawn by somebody else. He's writing it. Somebody else drew it. You know, his last Graveyard Shift campaign, I started hearing people going, "Wait, Jon Malin didn't draw this?" It's like, dude, Jon Malin hadn't drawn his last 2 campaigns. The only Graveyard Shift book Jon Malin drew was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, you're just catching on. Granted, he's doing Godlike, but nobody's going to see that till sometime next year. You know? I think he's barely made enough money to pay to have this book done. In all honesty.
Yeah,
Between
I'm sure the art's
taxes,
expensive, yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure Jon Malin's not paying out the ass for art. Jon Malin did a stream where he's like, if you expect to be paid, you know, fuck you. You're not going to get paid real money. Be prepared to not make that much money doing art and Comicsgate, was the gist of the stream. So I doubt he's paying that much, but I'm sure he's looking at a very, very small profit margin.
Well, if he's not paying that much for art, then, I mean, where's...
It's 100 and something page book. So, yeah, that's a lot of pages, right? And then you've got Mike Miller, who is currently, their book is over $500,000. It has made more money than any Comicsgate book for the last 2 years. Miller and Shad's Shadow of the Conqueror, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
Granted, Shad has a huge audience. He's being promoted over on Friday Night Tights and with the Fandom Menace and all of them. But it's still kicking Comicsgate's ass. Hard. And Mike Miller has been trolling the shit out of Jon Malin. Shows up in his chats and sends him super chats. Come on, guys. Help Jon Malin out. Go back his book. He hasn't made close to as much money as I have. Go help him out. You know? And there's the whole history between Jon Malin and Mike Miller. Everybody knows that, the drawn and quartered thing. Jon Malin doesn't like to lose, and Jon Malin is losing at the moment. And so he hid. He never showed up for Davis's launch stream, but I'm sure he heard about Ethan's anger, let's say. We pay attention to who helps around here, and Jon Malin's not helping, is what Ethan's saying, and it just goes right over Narwhal's head, right? But that's
well, to be fair, though, like, Narwhal was clearly high as fuck, just fucking vibing. He was rolling. That's not really his fault. You leave him alone.
So later that evening, the night of the launch stream, Jon Malin does a launch stream for Shane Davis, right? I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if he scheduled the damn thing and then hit Shane up to let him know that he was doing so. It was part of his mea culpa, apologizing for not being supportive. Though I did find it interesting that Ethan was like, if Jon Malin was here promoting his book, maybe he could get past 83K. And it's like, wait, this is a launch stream for Shane's book. Nobody should, I mean, the promotion for anybody else should be minimal because it was Shane's launch stream. But anyway, so Jon Malin schedules a stream for later that night. Shane Davis shows up, and I tune in real quick, right? Man, motherfucker. If Jon Malin did not even bother to put the link to the Indiegogo in the description.
Yeah.
Right? He couldn't even be asked to pin it in the chat. So he's sitting there and he's having this shill launch stream for Shane Davis without sharing the link at all. Like the mods in the chat. I think he may have dropped it in the chat a couple of times, and the mods in the chat were dropping it. But dude, like how hard can you half-ass a mea culpa launch stream, right? He had to keep with the passive aggressive, I don't really want to do this shit all the way through it. All the way through it. It was fun and fascinating.
That is fun
Yeah.
and fascinating.
Now,
there's a chat I want to read since we brought up Mike Miller. Kenneth Brown asks, my question is, what's the over-under on Mike Miller fumbling on Shad's book?
The book is already completed, from what I understand. So volume 1 is done. I think
so. There's still like a good 50% chance that he'll fumble it.
Yeah. I would knock that down to maybe a quarter, right? I think Mike Miller would much rather be drawing other people's properties. Like, this idea of doing Shad's book really sort of started with Antonio. Yeah, Antonio Bryce did that food vloggers book, right? The one that still hasn't fulfilled and made no money because nobody bothered to promote it, including the guy with 1 million YouTube subs. And frankly, this is sort of playing to Mike Miller's strengths and totally an acceptance from Mike of his weaknesses, which is promotion. He kind of sucks at it. He doesn't come off as very likable. Right? So he's got Shad out there. Shad is promoting the book. There's going to be 4 volumes. The first one is already completed. So all they have to do is send it to the printer the minute the campaign closes. And
is he in charge of fulfillment?
I believe so, but I think
in
charge.
No.
But my guess would be in charge of fulfillment means that they've hired a fulfillment company. This is way too many books for one person to get out, right? This isn't like sending 1,000 books in the mail, after you've packaged them up on your living room floor. So I would guess that there's a fulfillment company. I haven't asked Mike. I'm not exactly in his Discord or to find out or anything like that, but that would be my guess. So all they have to do is send it to the printer. The printer sends it to the fulfillment company. The fulfillment company sends it out. I think it will probably be out maybe 2 months after the campaign closes.
Okay.
That would be my best guess.
Yeah.
Right? Unless Mike really fucks it up, which is always possible.
It is Mike.
But this isn't like the old campaigns of Mike's where he was launching a new campaign to pay for the to pay for the last campaign. There's no Mike there's no Smiller pyramid scheme happening here, right? This is flat out Shad has the money. He's going to be paying these bills,
Yeah.
So
So
I have pretty high hopes that Mike will be able to actually get this all taken care of in a satisfying way.
Yeah, Amit adds, maybe Mike can hire Jon Malin for fulfillment.
Well, Jon Malin, I believe, decided to drop the idea of his fulfillment company
Because
which
it
is
was
probably
work.
well, yeah, it was work, but it was one, it was really kind of expensive. Two, he was going to lose his shirt anyway on international postage. International shipping was going to kill him. I looked at it was a Word document that he had for a while pinned on his Twitter, and you could look and see what he was charging, and it was like $10 per book plus postage. Which is fine if you're a big, huge company, but just if you're some small independent comic creator who only has a few hundred books, that you've sold, you might as well just do it yourself. Anything under 2,000 books, you might as well just do it yourself, because you're not making enough money to justify $10 to $15 a book plus the postage. And Jon Malin wasn't charging enough for international rates.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, this is just not viable. But good luck. I mean, I was kind of hoping he would do it. I know that's bad. But I was kind of hoping he would do it.
No, I get you.
So,
but
yeah.
there is the Indiegogo
Yeah.
side of
So
things.
this is part of the problem that Jon Malin is having is Jon Malin is actually shadow banned on Indiegogo. I know. People didn't know about it. Yeah, actually it's been the talk of Comicsgate. But the ins and outs of it have been pretty sorely lacking in information. So this is the let me see. There are currently 2, 4, 6, 8, almost 18, I think, books right now that are tagged in the HTML as non-promotable. You'll see that tag down there under GoGo Factor, right? You see where it says GoGo Factor, Dean? And
Right.
it says promotable. So about halfway down, it says promotable content, no. This is from Shane Davis's Inglorious Rex. I took this screenshot, I believe the day that the campaign launched, so the Sunday after it launched, right? Then you have all these things called GoGo Factor. And GoGo Factor is part of their internal algorithm, right? And their internal algorithm accounts for things like how many times the link is shared. What they really want is they want the creator to drive traffic to Indiegogo. So the more people click on the link and go look at your project, even if they never leave your project, the better your GoGo factor, right? When Shane launched his campaign, because he made so much money right out of the gate and so many people were clicking on the link from his email, he immediately ended up with a GoGo factor in the 98th percentile. Right. Well, I'm sorry, 99th percentile. And there are very few campaigns that made it past the 90 percentile. I was going to be tracking this over the course of Shane's campaign to see what happens to the GoGo factor, if that actually changes, like the percentile changes over time, or if it's just something that's static once your campaign launches. But it's things like using your personal referral link when you share your campaign, the number of updates that you do. And they really want you to update your campaign even during the active phase of your campaign, like every 5 days, especially during the active phase of your campaign. They want you doing it every 5 days. They want you uploading new assets in your updates. They want you to actually be engaged. They want you to answer comments on your Indiegogo page, right? They want you to show that you're helping them out. And so there are campaigns that eventually become not promotable under that HTML tag. Now, what is different about Jon Malin's campaign, Shane Davis's campaign, who else? Johnny Phantasm, so that's PTP's campaign, Mike Barron's Private America campaign, and Frog G's campaign, is they all have this other tag down at the bottom, which is this meta tag. Meta name equals robots contents no index. This is a tag, for those of you who don't know, that controls searches, right? The non-promotable tag will keep your campaign from being promoted, basically promoted by Indiegogo on their hot campaigns page, on the front page of their campaigns. It'll keep you from being listed literally in the going to the comics campaign page. It just doesn't show up. But what this no index tag does is keeps you from being searchable by Google. That also means that their internal search engine on Indiegogo will not find you because you've been no indexed. Now, Shane Davis's campaign, if you go to Google, you can still type in Indiegogo Inglorious Rex 2. And I guess there was enough propagation on Google before that no index tag happened, and he says it happened while it was still in the sign up phase, right? That it still shows up. As of today, Jon Malin's Graveyard Shift Omega Storm, if you type in Indiegogo Omega Storm, which is what I've been doing for I don't know how long now, doesn't show up. It's just not, it takes you to the backer kit link, and then you can back end into Indiegogo. Same with Frog G's campaign. It doesn't show up. I haven't checked PTP or Barron's Private America campaign. Now, why Indiegogo put this on, I don't know. It could
the only like coincidental thing of it all is they all really fucking suck. And so I think Indiegogo is kind of just taking a stance on like, yo, does this person fucking suck? Does it suck listening to them? Is their book probably really fucking lame?
Well, no, like
yeah, probably. No, Vicky. That's probably what it is, all right? Because that's the only thing that they all have in common. They all fucking suck.
Right. I don't know. It could be as simple. It could it could be as simple as some keywords that they've used on their Indiegogo page. The no index thing. It's the kind of thing that Google puts there. That Indiegogo would put there if they just don't want to be associated with your campaign at all, but they're gonna let you stay on their platform. Right. So it could be as simple as keywords in the campaign, words in the trailer. Even Shane Davis says that he got the no index tag after he uploaded his trailer to his Indiegogo page. And his trailer, I don't consider it violent. So before anybody goes after me for that, but I could see where Indiegogo might consider. I mean, it's literally all just fights, right? Between the characters. I mean, that's all it is. Jon Malin's, I have no idea.
He fucking
Frog
sucks.
G's, I don't know. I would imagine that
He
Private
also
American,
fucking sucks.
Private American, Mike Barron doesn't suck. The
Mike
book doesn't
Barron
look
fucking, he's
no.
it's
But
like the Crypt Keeper.
yeah, Mike Barron's book, I don't know why either, except for the fact that some of the imagery on the Indiegogo page, they may find objectionable, right? PTPs, who knows why? I can't.
He also
I
fucking
can't
sucks, Vicky. I think I fucking nailed it.
Okay, so what happened a couple of days ago is they actually have been digging into their HTML coding, right? So now all of the go factor stuff is gone from the HTML pages that we can access. I'm sure there's some code somewhere for some private Indiegogo algorithmic something or other, that I haven't been able to suss out yet. But they've taken out all of the go factor stuff. So now there's no way to see if they have tagged a book as promotable or not. The only thing you're going to get still is the no index tag. Now, like I said, that's still, out of all of the campaigns, the ones that tend to be not promotable,
all have really fucking lame creators attached to it. It's just a fact. It's just a fact.
Oh, you're cruel, Dean. You are cruel. Tend to be
really fucking bad.
Really fucking bad. Old campaigns
that are lame.
Right? So the in-demand, there's only a handful of in-demand campaigns that have the not promotable tag. So that was 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of them. Right?
It should have been all of them. No, sorry.
Once your campaign is closed, it goes into not promotable. But there are only 9 in-demand campaigns, and there are a lot of in-demand campaigns out there, people. And the oldest one that is not promotable is Monster MD is still in demand. Can you believe that shit? Right? And then, unsurprisingly, Snowman, A Cold Day in Hell, is the only campaign put out by All Caps Comics that had the non-promotable tag. Why is that?
Because Richard Meyer fucking... Wait, no, that one's Ethan. Yeah.
That one's Ethan's.
Oh, well, that makes sense, too.
One.
Because Ethan fucking sucks.
One, it launched a year ago. Well, I'm sorry. It launched 2 years ago. Right? Ethan has only updated that campaign a handful of times. And by handful, I mean less than what I can count on one hand, in 2 years. Right? And Indiegogo says, you guys aren't putting any effort into this. Fuck you. You are now not promotable. The only ones that were put up last year that have that not promotable tag that are still in demand are Mary Boys, Beefheads, and Adam Friended's Supervillains Anonymous. Adam Friended's book is late as fuck and I don't think is getting updated often enough to make them happy. Also, if you're not replying to the comments on your campaign page, that negatively affects your go factor. Gemshock, as we all know, is tagged as not promotable. I personally think that had to do with
you reporting her.
I did not report her.
That's not what she says.
I know it's not what she says. I think it was because of the artwork on her page. Now, keep in mind, when they say promotable, that means putting it on their front page of their own website. And they're going to be looking, they don't want to put anything that kids can't look at. They just don't. They're not going to want to. If a kid can't look at it, or if they think that a kid shouldn't be looking at it, they're not going to have it on the front page of their site. That's just common sense. There's nothing in the Indiegogo TOS that says that they have to promote your campaigns internally. There's no agreement that you make with Indiegogo for them to be promoting your campaigns independently. You know? Yeah, that Shinobi Sasquatch isn't one of the ones either. It also may not be showing up in the list because the list does have a time, does have time considerations. It probably doesn't go back that far. And now I can no longer check if Shinobi Sasquatch has that tag.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what did we learn here, guys? These people all fucking suck and their comics are lame. And unfortunately, Indiegogo agrees. So,
well, I think some of this stuff, some of the non-promotable stuff has probably been going on this whole time. It's just nobody really noticed all that much, right? There's all this talk about blacklisting, blah, 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 shadow banning, blah, blah, blah. Everybody gets into it, so they all start looking and searching, right? And it's inevitable. It's it becomes this kind of self-fulfilling. There's actually a word for it. That's the psychology thing. And like I said, I'm just tired. But you start looking for these things. But those are all of there's 4. And I think according to Bancroft, and I haven't checked, I don't remember seeing it, that his sign up had a no index tag on it.
yeah.
But it's the no index HTML that's actually the shadow ban, right? Because that keeps you from Google. And that's a tough one. And Indiegogo should be more responsive as to why that's happening, that they're not being upfront and responsive to the creators does suck. I don't have much more than that. They can't force Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. They could always go to Kickstarter.
Well, how about we hear what Bancroft had to say about it?
Okay.
Chris says, do you think these transaction problems
unfortunately, he
explain
didn't have
Private
much to
America
say.
not showing up in any search results? It doesn't seem related. That issue has been happening now for months. So it may be tangentially related in that there's some sort of issue with the developers not having enough time to work on what needs to get worked on. I am yet to be 100% convinced that it is an ideological thing. Like, I'm much more convinced it is on Twitter, how you guys got your Twitter account taken down, because it seems to be no rhyme or reason. It comes in, it comes out. I think it's much more likely at this stage that it's a technical issue, but I don't know. That's my speculation. I really don't know. But yeah, I don't know if they're related specifically, as in directly, but more just like there's an issue with Indiegogo keeping their site functioning at the moment. Peter Gilmore said earlier.
So, I guess what we learned is Bancroft doesn't know, which is pretty much like Bancroft's problem going into anything. He just doesn't know anything. So thanks, Bancroft, for the update. Really got to thank you for that. And so I think we found out where Jon Malin is. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
But now we're going to be talking about, see if I can find it. We're going to be talking about the Bowsey and Rowdy lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rowdy versus Bowsey.
So as you all, as we talked about a few weeks ago, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Nate the lawyer decided to take issue with Chris Bowsey of Bot Sentinel. He didn't like the fact that that Bot Sentinel had labeled his Twitter as disruptive, because he didn't use gamer words, so it shouldn't have been disruptive, which I don't really think is the criteria. And he didn't like that Bowsey had played a clip of Rowdy pretty much, in my opinion, I get that out there. In my opinion, pretty much admitting that he'd done some pretty shady things when he was a cop. Right. I think the exact quote is, "I know what these guys are doing because I was doing the same thing." Right.
Yeah, and in reference, he was talking about cops that were finding
planting
evidence
evidence.
in ways. An example: finding evidence in ways that were less than up to code. And then he said, "I was doing those things," and those were his words. It's weird to sue over
Yeah.
his words,
Yeah.
but
It's weird to sue someone else over your own words. But
I guess it is what it is, right?
Yeah, so he filed a lawsuit in New Jersey. Yay, in New Jersey. Against Christopher Bowsey and Bot Sentinel, I think. It may have been both. No, I'm sorry, just Christopher Bowsey, but not Bot Sentinel as a company, which I thought was really weird. But whatever. And he spent pages upon pages describing what can only charitably be described as opinion statements by Christopher Bowsey. Right? If you join, everybody go do it. Join Nate the lawyer's Rumble. He's posting all of this paperwork to his Rumble, and you don't have to actually give him money to get it. Bowsey said I wasn't a real lawyer, but I am a lawyer, and so that hurts me that he said that I wasn't. How dare he be critical of my coverage of the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. Dude's a serial entrepreneur, which there's actually nothing wrong with that, because lots of entrepreneurs are, and sometimes the shit you try to start up just doesn't work. It's 46 pages, and half of it is just partial screenshots of tweets, even though they are fully included in the appendix. The tweets are, but as you read it, you get a much different opinion and impression, because he cuts off half the tweets or who he's replying to. It's kind of shady, in a way. He points to the video. We played the video. I don't even know if we still have
we
it.
did.
We played the video that Chris Bowsey had posted on his Twitter, and compared it to the one that Nate the lawyer posted to his Twitter. And actually, Bowsey's had a little bit more context, which was kind of crazy. But he doesn't include a transcript of the video. He just has the tweets. Now, I don't know about New Jersey, but the thing we learned from Texas was that they will want context for those tweets. Meaning, if it's a reply, they want to know what all of the tweets are you're replying to.
Yeah,
All
that
those
was
tweets in the
that was
tweet
the
chain.
Vic case where That was very prevalent.
Yeah, that caused a big problem for them. But it says, it just says things like these statements and others published by defendant concerning Mr. Browdy were and are false. Now, most of them are opinion statements. I'm sorry. But it's just like he paid some high-powered lawyer a good chunk of money to put his research, because he's the one doing all the research for the case, trying to bring down costs, quote unquote, into this complaint, and a lot of it is just opinion. So he's being sued for defamation per quad, defamation per se, false light tort, which is just he's lying about me, and that's all they are. Is he's just saying false things about me. He's also suing for intentional interference with prospective business advantage, which I'm okay. If I'm looking for a lawyer, I'm not reading his Twitter. I'm looking at where he went to school. I'm looking at his case history. I'm not going to be worrying about what some dude is saying about him on Twitter unless
it's like I don't know, Thai beard or something. You might be worried about that
might
shit.
regret it. Yeah.
But so like I don't know, he's like right here it says finally realizing that he had been caught publishing a string of false and defamatory claims, Bowsey conceded to the falsity of his claim about plaintiff's background and credentials. So like I mean already like the guy apparently said something that wasn't true, and he made a point to take it back. It's kind of hard to sue over that when the person already has, admitted, like, oh, hey, that what I said wasn't true. Here's the truth, right? But then it goes on to say, Bowsey wrapped these concessions, however, in a pathetic attempt to troll Mr. Browdy by accusing the latter of being a Twitter troll, very defamatory, grifter. Very, very defamatory.
Very defamatory. Here's the thing: when you're running around screaming about Bowsey bucks and trying to boost up your super chats, and then you have a GoFundMe to pay for your attorney. Well, for other people to pay for your attorney. To me, that's grifting. Your mileage may vary, but I pretty much see it as a grift. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think most YouTube monetization is a grift, honestly. But yeah, super chats are just, they're evil. But it's sort of, I don't know. It'll be interesting to follow. As far as I know, he hasn't replied yet. I haven't looked it up. I was a little distracted by a couple of other legal cases at the moment. But yeah. Oh, by the way, the TM case had a thing. I'll have a video up in a couple of days. The Comicsgate TM. Hopefully by the weekend. I meant to have it last weekend. But yeah, so it'll be fun to watch, I guess. At least we know it'll be live streamed.
That's
just
true.
from their own perspective. We'll get to watch Tug tell his Tug-isms about it, and we all know where they're gonna come down. All the law tubers are gonna try to make it sound like Nate is definitely in the right. He's got this. He's gonna win. The minute Ricada says it, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, That's fair. That is fair. That is fair.
But then Ricada says he's got a good case.
Oh, you might want to look out.
Yeah, you might want to look out, Nate. Just so you know. Yeah. But then again, he does have a lawyer with over 100,000 people following him on Twitter. It says so on his CV, posted on his law firm's website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zachary Viana says that according to, let me find that. According to Nate, Bowsey is dodging service.
I'm pretty sure he was served.
Yeah. And then he says presumably Bowsey has a legal representation and he could ask the court to serve him. Yeah, he could if they know who his legal representation is.
But I'm pretty sure that I saw that he
yeah,
had
I was
been
pretty sure
served.
that he had been served too.
I remember looking up. I was pretty sure that he had been. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be misremembering. He was talking about a different case where Bowsey, I think it was the thing with the landlord, maybe.
Yeah.
There was a something that he was kind of dodging service on, but ended up being served before the deadline. So
He says
I think that's a different something.
Yeah, Zachary says he pals around with Nick, so tortious interference was a given for making an appearance. And that's really funny. Risey says, nah, for reals, I've heard Vic has a chance. Yeah, appeals.
Yeah.
Too soon. But now you're going to be talking about earlier today, he said they had tried to serve Bowsey 3 times. Presumed it was today. Oh no, I mean maybe
Yeah,
I could have sworn.
possible.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe wrong on that one. But now we are going to be talking about the Pelosi stuff. This is an article, unfortunately, by Kotaku. It says, report, man behind Pelosi hammer attack was radicalized by
Gamergate.
Gamergate, guys.
Gamergate.
Gamergate.
Damn you, Gamergate.
Kissing the BNV spinning ribbit coin. Yeah, that was a good one. I don't know why I changed that.
We could always change it back next week.
I could always have multiple of these transitions.
That is an idea.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll get into that later. Speaking of ribbit coin. But yes, so in case you hadn't heard, Nancy Pelosi's husband was, quote, attacked by a nudist with a hammer in his home, or in their home, at around 2 a.m. He is under Secret Service protection, by the way, people, and the Secret Service agent did not notice anybody breaking into the house.
Oh yeah,
and didn't notice anything happening until the lights from the police cars showed up on the videos. How that happens, I do not know. It must have been one hell of a dump. Like, had really foul Mexican for dinner or something. I don't know. And so somebody answered the door. We don't know who. Because I can't imagine, and this is a strange thing to me. So if Pelosi opened the door, according to an affidavit by a very, very junior FBI agent who filed for probable cause to continue an investigation or something. If somebody answers the door, Pelosi and Poppy?
Yeah, I've DePape.
DePape were already they each had a hand on the hammer. Pelosi had one hand on the other guy's arm. How he answered the door, I do not know, because both of his hands were full. And then he greets the officers. Pelosi greets the officers, and that's when DePape bashes him over the head with the hammer.
And he has his pants down. Or
Well,
off.
Well, the first report said that he was in his underwear. Now, whether that was Pelosi in his underwear, because supposedly he was in bed when DePape.
Oh, I thought it was DePape had his underwear.
It was DePape. We do not know, but original news reports did say that DePape was in his underwear. Now, I don't know if you guys know much about this nudist group in San Francisco. Do you, Dean?
No. What type of question is that?
There's so they have a bit of a history, and they're kind of known in this city. A lot of the nudists in this group are like hang out. They're rent boys in the Castro. They're nudist rent boys in the Castro. Just saying. Now, I don't know if Paul is deep in the closet, but there is always the chance.
Yeah, if he is, say hi to John Delarose, Paul.
He'll be the one on his tippy toes.
Yeah, he'll be the cowboy on his tippy toes over
and
on Broadway.
I think, yeah, I
Street.
really, I don't want to sound like some sort of like freaky deaky conspiracy theorist, because I don't really think I am. I try to just be a realist. But this whole story stinks.
There is a lot of oddities, for sure. But I don't know, like, it's weird. I'm not gonna say that for sure, this was a lover's quarrel.
Or even
But there's some things that are weird,
bad.
for sure. Like the security, like there's just...
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird.
Who answered the door? Why, if this guy was trying to, if he was going to be holding Paul Pelosi hostage, why is he answering the door? Right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just all
that,
sorts of weird stuff that doesn't make sense.
All of that aside, what we do know is this DePape guy was fucking batshit crazy.
Batshit fucking crazy.
But it is funny because both sides kind of I mean, like, people on the right, people on the left kind of want to blame the other side. Because on the one hand, the guy was a fandom menace simp, like SJW Cat points out, because he was.
He was.
And then on the other hand, he was like a proud LGBTQ supporter and member,
and BLM.
And was very into like left-leaning politics, but was also very into weird like
right-wing
conspiracies. And so I don't think it's actually fair to really blame either side. I think the guy was just batshit crazy.
Yeah. That happens. You get a lot of batshit crazy.
But he was a fandom menace simp. That is true.
There's this one YouTuber that he had used a thumbnail from his video in one of his rants on his blog, and I looked at the guy's content, right?
Yeah.
And it was no different than anything you see on Nerdrotic or Yellow Flash, or if Tug wasn't just doing fucking Amber Heard all the time. You know, it's the same outrage videos, complaining about literally everything. From the race swapping to, you know, the women in Marvel. Oh my God, the gays taking over comics. I mean, it was all just the same crap that you see all over those Fandom Menace channels, and a lot of and quite a few Comicsgate channels too. You know, that the outrage is strong, and when you're stuck in that outrage mode, it really does affect your brain. I think it changes the way you look at things, and
Well, that's just, I mean, I get what you're saying, but that's just kind of a general truth about most things. Like, you know, what you surround yourself with affects how you see things, you know. But, like, I don't think that that's necessarily, like, I don't think that that's a necessarily fair thing to, like, kind of put on this, right? Like,
well, no, not as far as like actually attacking Nancy Pelosi's husband. No, I'm not saying that. I don't think that rewriting Ripley was that right. No. But I do think that all of the outrage really does
oh, it
feed
does affect how you see things, and
Yeah.
yeah, like, you know, I mean, I used to watch like outrage YouTubers all the time, and it like it definitely scoped my or I guess sculpted, yeah, sorry. It sculpted my like outlook on things for sure. And not in a good way. But I don't think that that's...
It takes a little extra something
Yeah.
to flip you over completely over the edge, right? I mean, you already have to have some sort of issue or problem that will send you there. And this guy was a nutter, right? And you can't account for crazy.
Yeah.
But to say that you know, being immersing yourself, especially in something like God, I'm not saying rewriting Ripley was right, people, but this guy himself admits that part of what sent him down this rabbit hole really was Gamergate, or, you know, the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. He had written that himself on his blog.
Yeah.
And so even if, like, we can't really blame Gamergate, this guy does. That's how he sees it.
Yeah,
You
but I
know?
mean, but the guy is also
A
batshit
nutter.
crazy.
Yes.
You know, like, because in reality, and I hate to like kind of stick up for the outrage YouTubers because I think that they are shitty. I do think that what they do is shitty. I think that it's all very grifty. Most of their fans, albeit dumb as rocks, are not out there committing violent acts.
No.
You know, they're just very fucking dumb. But I don't think that it makes them violent. Just maybe extremely bigoted at points.
Yeah.
You know, But that's
It definitely does
big
that.
difference from violent, right?
Yeah, I think it definitely does that. I think it definitely pushes you, like the polarity of it. It can push you more towards being a bigot. We all sit there and we want to think that that nobody can do that, but immerse yourself in 20 hours of live streams a week, and the way you look at the world shifts just a little bit on its axis, in my opinion. Yeah.
No, and I mean,
Um,
I totally do get that. Like I have my own, like I guess, history with that type of, content. Um, and it definitely does, like sculpt how you view things. You kind of do view things that may not actually really be there. It's kind of ideas planted like into you by people that you think are on your side.
or more
Uh,
knowledgeable than you are,
yeah.
right? If
So
you sit there and you come off with your content is like you know more, and you claim to be coming, or give the impression that you're coming from some sort of uh authority on the subject, I think
yeah,
people are far more likely to believe you,
yeah, no, without a
right?
doubt. But it turns out that you're actually just listening to some an idiot. Uh, you know.
Pontificate about how an industry is dying, or um women ruin everything, or gays are ruining
Well, I mean,
everything.
Vicky, you do kind of ruin everything, but I don't want to put that on women. I think that that's very specific to you.
Oh, thank you, Dean.
Yeah,
That's
so
so
I just think it's like
special.
unfair to blame all women when really you're just the problem. You know what I mean?
I do. I
Okay,
do.
cool. I'm
And
glad
that's okay. I'll accept it.
I'm glad we both agree on that.
Yeah. We agree on way too much. It makes the whole like having a conversation almost a little boring.
You are boring. I agree. Yeah. See, there, we agreed again. You're boring.
Yep.
To be fair, anyone in Gamergate is a broken human NFT.
Yes.
They ruined our beloved childhood properties.
Oh, well.
What's funny is like, I mean, it's like those properties still exist. Like,
you can
just
go.
don't watch what, like, you don't think is good. Problem solved. Actually, you just said that, Lester Dog. You totally did just say that. I saw that.
The first time George Lucas remastered Star Wars and changed shit, I was just like, oh no, man. No. And I went back and watched the original, and it made me happy.
Yeah.
Like, shit changes. We all grow, things change. Properties change, the way they focus things change, how they tell the storytelling. I mean, this is just it's
And when you complain about those
just what
things, you just
happened.
sound old.
Yeah.
You just sound like an old person. Because you're an old person.
Complaining about something that's not written for you to begin with, or
Yeah,
made
it's
for
like,
you to
oh,
begin with.
they don't make TV shows like they used to. Like, fuck
Well,
off, old person.
they don't.
Yeah, see,
But then they
exactly. That's my
do,
point.
right? But there's always something you can find. There's plenty of new stuff that I find that I enjoy very much, you know? But I still miss the days of Norman Lear.
Yeah.
I still all those 80s movies. What was that dude's name that did all the 80s angst, teenage angst movies?
I don't know because I'm not old.
Like, I know you're not old, but I could still, wish that kind of stuff was still being made.
Yeah.
But that's more of a nostalgia thing, because I can just go back and watch them, you
Yeah.
know?
That's fair.
To expect that, yeah, John Hughes, thank you, Blade Runner. To expect that things don't, music changes, right? I may not listen to what's on the radio now. I'm not railing against, screamo or anything like that, or whatever the latest, newest, trendy crap music is. I just go back and I listen to the stuff that I like, which is wide and varied.
Just like your fucking your
Facts.
waistline.
My waistline is
Fatty.
trim.
Sure it is, fatty.
Trim.
Fatty.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Got
Yes.
anything to say for yourself, fatty? Your fucking wide waistline?
My 26-inch waist says nah.
Sure.
Says fuck you, Dean.
26 times 2, more like it. Fatty. Okay, well anyways, this has been fun, guys. I think that was all the stuff.
I think that was.
Cool, because I'm hungry.
I'm kind of hungry too.
And I'm getting sick of reading your guys' comments in the chat.
And I really want a cigarette.
And you all suck. And should be non-promotable because of it.
Now, Puma Fist does say, real quick before we go, saying things change doesn't mean it's for the better. Getting cancer is a change too.
Yeah,
well,
but you can't change the channel on cancer.
Yeah, right.
You can't pick up a different book on cancer. I think that's the difference.
Yeah. You can always find, like I said, you can always find something to like.
Jesus, Ricey.
I mean, even one TV show isn't going to necessarily be good for all, 10 seasons. Or however long they decide to keep something on. It all can't, not everything can be Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Want to bring this up. It's John.
Hey, John.
Found him. He's hiding behind Vicky. We can still see his hand, though. Oh, there he is. Be careful, Vicky. Looks creepy.
Next thing, he is creepy. Next thing you know, he'll be putting his hand on my shoulder and whispering in my ear like Biden.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Everybody have a great night.
Or don't.
Thank you all for joining us.
Not really.
Yeah, be nice to